I decided that this third grade lesson is the best lesson that I've taught and written so far. Up until this week, I have really taught only first and second grade, so I did a lot of movement and games with them and singing games and things like that, just so I could see where they were. And they did a really good job. The lessons went really well, but I decided that since they were really only singing and moving and things, that I would choose this lesson because the students are actually showing off some higher musical abilities. And I actually got to show off some of my music abilities too because I wrote an accompaniment for this song. So anyway, in this lesson, in the first part, they're learning the game and they're singing the song, and then in the second part, they are responsible for finding their matching. I wrote the accompaniment out on note cards, and I doubled them so every student has a note card, and they have to find the person whose note card matches theirs. And then they go together to a xylophone and they learn how to play the song. And later they figure out which order the note cards go in. So which part of the accompaniment is first, which is second, third, and fourth. And so then the pairs split up, and a set of students goes to the carpet and they sing and play the game, and then the students left at the tables, they'll play the xylophones and they'll play the accompaniment, and then they'll switch. So I thought this lesson was really good because the students get to show that they read music and they can play instruments, and they can sing and play games at the same time. And I really wanted to see where the third graders were vocally, just as I had done with the first and second graders in the past couple weeks, because I noticed that in chorus some of them weren't singing, some of them weren't matching pitch very well, and some of them had trouble keeping the steady beat of the song. So this showed me a lot about where they were, and I thought it was a very beneficial lesson for the kids and for me too. So I got to just see what level they were at. So this lesson, I think, in this next week, I think the biggest issue will be keeping it organized. So handing out the cards in an organized way and making sure they find each other and practice and stuff like that. So we'll talk a lot about practicing and how to practice something. Where do you start? How do you go through it? Even though they're only playing 4 beats, I think it's important to talk about that. So I think the biggest challenge will just be keeping it organized and keeping everything nice and steady and together. Also, I noticed last week when I was teaching the song, the third graders were a little wary about singing it. Dum Dum Ditty has some high notes in there, and they thought it was funny when I sang it for them. It went kind of high, and they're not used to hearing that. My cooperating teacher he's a man, so his voice doesn't sound as high as mine does, so they're not used to hearing that. But once they got used to hearing it and they got used to singing it themselves, they really liked it. And I had third graders coming up to me all week telling me that they had the song stuck in their head, and they were playing the game at recess and things like that. So I think this lesson's going to be very successful. It gives the students a chance to show off their musical abilities, so I think it's going to go over really well. Videos will be posted probably next week or at the end of this week for the lesson, so just look out for those and enjoy.